Hey there everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone is well. It's another beautiful day here today, and we are here to do the Course in Miracles lessons. The lesson for today is lesson 183, and so let's get right into it. I call upon God's name and my own. I call upon God's name and my own. God's name is holy, but not holier than yours. To call upon his name is but to call upon your own. A father gives his son his name, and thus identifies the son with him. His brothers share his name, and thus are they unified in a bond to which they turn for their identity. Your father's name reminds you who you are, even within a world that does not know, even though you have not remembered it. God's name cannot be heard without response, nor said without an echo in the mind that calls you to remember. Say his name, and you invite the angels to surround the ground on which you stand, and sing to you as they spread out their wings to keep you safe, and shelter you from every worldly thought that would intrude upon your holiness. Repeat God's names, and all the world's responds by laying down illusions. Every dream the world holds dear has suddenly gone by, and where it seemed to stand you find a star, a miracle of grace. The sick arise, healed of their sickly thoughts. The blind can see, the deaf can hear. The sorrowful cast off their mourning, and the tears of pain are dried as happy laughter comes to bless the world. Repeat the name of God, and little names have lost their meaning. No temptation but becomes a nameless and unwanted thing before God's name. Repeat his name and see how easily you will forget the names of all the gods you valued. They have lost the name of God you gave them. They become anonymous and valueless to you. Although before you let the name of God replace their little names, you stood before them worshipfully, naming them as gods. Repeat the name of God and call upon yourself, whose name is his. Repeat his name, and all the tiny nameless things on earth slip into right perspective. Those who call upon the name of God cannot mistake the nameless for the name, nor sin for grace, nor bodies for the Holy Son of God. And should you join a brother as you sit with him in silence and repeat God's name along with him within your quiet mind, you have established there an altar which reaches to God himself and to his Son. Practice but this today. Repeat God's name slowly again and still again. Become oblivious to every name but his. Hear nothing else. Let all your thoughts become anchored on this. No other word we use except at the beginning, when we say today's idea but once, and then God's name becomes our only thought, our only word, the only thing that occupies our minds, the only wish we have, the only sound with any meaning, and the only name of everything that we desire to see, of everything that we would call our own. Thus do we give an invitation which can never be refused, and God will come and answer it himself. Think not he hears the little prayers of those who call on him with names of idols cherished by the world. They cannot reach him thus. He cannot hear requests that he be not himself, or that his son receive another name than his. Repeat God's name, and you acknowledge him as your sole creator of reality. And you acknowledge also that his Son is part of him, creating in his name. Sit silently and let his name become the all-encompassing idea that holds your mind completely. Let our thoughts be still except this one, and to all other thoughts respond with this, and see God's name replace the 1,000 little names you gave your thoughts, not realizing that there is one name for all there is, and all that there will be. Today, you can achieve a state in which you will experience the gift of grace. You can escape all bondage of the world and give the world the same release you found. You can remember that the world forgot and offered it your own remembering. You can accept today the part you play in its salvation and your own as well, and both can be accomplished perfectly. Turn to the name of God for your release, and it is given you. No prayer but this is necessary, for it holds them all within it. Words are insignificant, and all requests unneeded, when God's Son calls on his Father's name. His Father's thoughts become his own. He makes his claim to all his Father gave, is giving still, and will forever give. He calls on him to let all things he thought he made be nameless now, and in their place the holy name of God becomes his judgment of their worthlessness. All little things are silent. Little sounds are soundless now. The little things of earth have disappeared. The universe consists of nothing but the Son of God, who calls upon his Father, and his Father's voice gives answer in his Father's holy name. In this eternal, still relationship, in which communication far transcends all words and yet exceeds in depth and height whatever words could possibly convey, is peace eternal. In our Father's name we would experience this peace today, and in his name it shall be given us. Wow, that is very interesting. Yeah. So I had to think about this one a little bit more. It was a little bit, I guess my ego wanted to go and say, the first thing I wanted to say was, well, what's his name? And I guess that's all of us probably want to go there and say, well, what is his name? But I think the reality here of what the Course is trying to tell us is that God is whatever name you give him. Whatever name you want to give God, that's who he is. And ultimately, it's going to be whatever arises those feelings of love and peace and calm when you say X name, whatever that name is for you. That is what God is. So I use the word God. Is that his name? I don't know. But that is the whole point. The whole point of this lesson is to search your mind, search your thoughts, search your being, your whole true self, and find his name, whatever that is for you. And realize that when you say that name, what you're doing is you're connecting yourself to that higher part of yourself that wants to go home, that wants to be, wants to remember who you truly are. So when you say and repeat that word, whatever it is for you, it will align you and get you in contact with that part of you that is real, the part that feels complete, the part that is filled with love, the part that is at peace. So today's lesson is all about that. It's all about remembering who you are, and where we can find that it is in God's name. Because when we say God's name, whatever that name is for us, it brings that sense of peace, that sense of joy, that sense of everything that is bothering us is gone. We feel safe. We feel sheltered. We feel comfortable. We feel at peace. We feel warm. We feel happy. So that is what the lesson is trying to tell us today. To repeat that name over and over in our heads and allow that part of us to connect to that, so that we can be at peace, so that we can feel that joy and let go of everything that we are currently holding forward in our minds. All the negativity, maybe sadness, maybe fear, whatever it may be. When you repeat God's name, it allows you to disconnect from all that and just remember peace, remember joy. And when you're able to do that, then you're able to see the real you, the part of you that is always at peace and always joyful and always happy and has no worries. And don't we want to always be that way? And we can be. It's our choice. So that is what the lesson today is trying to tell us. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you do it. I hope that you try to repeat God's name and remember the truth about who you are. I hope you're spending time with those you love. I hope you make the best of today. Enjoy every instant of today. And I hope you take the time to share that wonderful, wonderful being of you, who you are, that makes you, with someone else. Bring a smile to someone else. Take care of them, love them, care for them, whatever you can to make a difference in somebody else's life. When you do that, it makes a difference in yours. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.